In Week 6 of the 2024 NFL season, Jeremy Cluff from the Arizona Republic dives into his power rankings and assesses whether certain teams, like the Minnesota Vikings, Washington Commanders, and Denver Broncos, are true contenders with postseason potential or if they're still a few pieces short of making a serious run. With each team past the quarter-season mark, here's an in-depth look at where they stand and whether they can sustain their current momentum. Minnesota Vikings. Emerging as true contenders. The Minnesota Vikings are a team that has drawn considerable attention, sitting at a perfect 5-0 to open the season. This record alone is impressive, but the way they've accumulated wins suggests they're more than just a flash in the pan. Minnesota has defeated strong opponents like the San Francisco 49ers, Houston Texans, Green Bay Packers, and New York Jets. Each victory has showcased the Vikings' versatility and ability to adapt to various play styles. Their balance on both sides of the ball, paired with disciplined and effective game management, has propelled them to the top of the NFC North standings. Quarterback Kirk Cousins has been steady, while the Vikings' defense has displayed resilience, limiting big plays and stepping up in key situations. They head into a bye week with time to regroup and strategize for their much-anticipated clash against the Detroit Lions. The Lions, also on a strong trajectory this season, could prove to be one of the Vikings' toughest tests yet. If Minnesota can hold off Detroit, they will solidify their status as one of the league's premier teams and make a strong case as legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Washington Commanders. Potential contenders with caveats. The Washington Commanders have taken many by surprise, finding themselves near the top of the NFC East standings after 5 games. Sitting at 4-1, they've strung together wins against teams like the Cleveland Browns, showing that they have both the resilience and the depth to compete. Led by quarterback Jayden Daniels, the Commanders have demonstrated a balanced approach to the game. Daniels' performance has offered glimpses of his potential as a franchise quarterback, and his playmaking ability has kept Washington competitive even in high-pressure situations. However, Washington's true test lies ahead. In Week 6, they face the Baltimore Ravens, who are in the middle of a winning streak and possess an aggressive, high-octane offense led by Derrick Henry. If the Commanders can contain the Ravens and execute on both offense and defense, it will reinforce their status as serious playoff contenders. Their defense, particularly, will need to rise to the challenge, as Baltimore's offense has been particularly explosive in recent weeks. A victory here could set the Commanders up for a strong postseason push, and potentially shake up the NFC playoff picture. Denver Broncos. A team on the borderline, the Denver Broncos are a team that has faced more scrutiny but is slowly emerging from the shadows, now standing at a promising 3-2 record after 3 consecutive victories. Much of this success can be attributed to a defense that has tightened up after a shaky start, allowing Denver to stay competitive in the tough AFC West. Their recent 34-18 win over the Las Vegas Raiders is a prime example, with the Broncos' defense putting up a solid performance while the offense delivered enough points to control the game. That said, Denver's position in the AFC West complicates their playoff hopes. The division is led by the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. Denver will need to maintain their current streak and continue building momentum if they are to challenge Kansas City for the division lead or secure a wild card spot. Consistency on offense will be key, as Denver's recent success has relied heavily on its defense. If the Broncos can keep this balance and avoid any major setbacks, they might just edge their way into the playoff picture as a surprise contender. In summary, as the NFL season moves into Week 6, the Minnesota Vikings look increasingly like genuine contenders, with their undefeated record and robust performances against strong opponents. The Washington Commanders are also making a case for themselves, though their upcoming game against Baltimore could reveal whether they're fully ready to compete at the highest level. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos are on the cusp, with a favorable stretch of games potentially pushing them into serious playoff contention if their defense continues to deliver. These early assessments will evolve as the season progresses, but for now, the Vikings and Commanders are making a case as strong NFC contenders, while the Broncos sit in a wait-and-see spot, looking to prove they belong among the AFC's elite.